Hello everybody, it's Maquito. I hope everybody's having a good day and it's had a good day so far. We're wearing the robe. Based on the last soccer video, we swept the player props, but I'll go over that at the end of the video. As I'm recording, I'm not sure how WNBA picks are going. I had two. As I'm recording, they're both on halftime, so we'll see how that goes. But we have a pretty decent Friday slate. I believe we have 4 or 5 games that we can go through. I found money line play, found 2 player prop plays that I like, so if I do have any added plays, as always, they will be in the pinned comment either later tonight, but more than likely tomorrow when more lines are out and lineups in general are confirmed as always. And any pictures that you see on the screen is from the data called Outlier. Link for that is in the description. You get a 7-day free trial. It shows matchups, it shows home and away, with or without teammates, minutes played, all of that. Great data app, good way to analyze your picks as well, not just on soccer, but MLB, NFL when that starts, NBA when that starts, all of that. But then I'll just get straight into the plays. The first player prop that I found that I like is Cole Palmer to go under 3.5 dribble attempts away from home for Chelsea going up against West Ham. He went under in the first game of the season with 2 against Crystal Palace, who last season on average allowed the 8th most dribbles. And he went under in 70% of games last season, going under in 26 out of 37 games. And if you look at those 11 games that he went over, 6 of those were against top 10 teams for dribbles allowed. So he over half of the games that he went over were against bad matchups for us, good matchups for him. But now he's going up against West Ham, who last season averaged the 3rd least dribbles to opponents, so they were a tough matchup. And if you look at the first game of the season that West Ham played, which was against Sunderland, all 3 of their forwards, they played in the 4-3-3. Their striker and 2 wingers all went under 3.5. Taibi had 0 dribbles when last season he averaged around 3. Adingra had 2 dribbles when last season he averaged around 3.5. And Mayenda went under with 2 when last season he was averaging around 4.3. So all 3 of those forwards went under their average, and Cole Palmer last season averaged around 2.6 dribbles attempts anyways. He played them twice last season, went under both games against them with 1 attempt and 0 attempts, so he had good history against them last season as well. The matchup showed, and he plays as an attacking midfielder next to dribblers, Neto, Estevao, or it could be Gittens, João Pedro, so he's going to be very likely much more as a playmaker, so I like this line. Cole Palmer to go under 3.5 dribble attempts. And then the second player prop that I found that I like is Guo Arnanis to go higher than 2 dribble attempts at home for Real Betis going up against Alaves. You can't take a shot line at 2.5 as the lean. If this gets bumped from 2.0 to 2.5, I'd rather take the shot line just because I just like this one at 2.0, but at 2.5 I like the shot one better. But in the first game of the season, he pushed with 2 in the first game. He joined last season, halfway through the season, from Columbus Crew in the MLS. And over there with Columbus, he was averaging 4 dribble attempts per 90. And when he joined Betis, it dropped and averaged around 2.1. But now he's had time to get adjusted and play with the team. So as long as he gets at least 2, I like this line. Besides, last season, he had 2+ dribble attempts in 6 out of 8 games at home with Betis. And now he's playing Alaves, who last season, on average, allowed the most dribbles to opponents. So he has a great matchup there. And with Isco and Ezdalzuli both being out, I still expect him to have more offensive responsibility, just like I said last game when he went over his 1.5 shot line. And in the first game that Alaves played against Levante, they in general are a defensive team, and their only dribbler was their striker Romero, who went over with 5, even though last season he was only averaging around 2.5. So he has a good matchup. He'll get the opportunities, and he's at home. I like Guo Arnanis to go higher than 2 attempted dribbles. Before I get into the money line play, as always, I really appreciate if everybody took a second to like the video and comment as well. It helps boost the video out to more people, whether it's just supporting, dropping encouragement, dropping questions about soccer, because I know a lot of you guys that watch these videos just make these bets because I'm the one making them, not because you watch soccer. And if you're not subscribed, please subscribe, turn on notifications so you're notified when these videos go out. And I do also let y'all know in my free Discord, which is linked in the description, I don't have a premium or anything like that. I don't hide any picks. You get all my picks from this video. Again, the Discord is just for those. You will get more another notification when the video goes out. And it's a great community where people talk about their plays. You can put your plays there. People talk during the games with everything. Again, MLB, esports, NFL, everything you can think of. Great community. Link for that is in the description. I mentioned Outlier, all the pictures that you see on the screen. But other than that, I want to thank anybody who supports me in any way. I have day one of the ladder challenge. I have this slip for -134 and the first place in the English Premier League, and that's higher than 0.5 first half goals in a West Ham or Chelsea game. We just need someone to score. Doesn't matter who, whether it's West Ham or Chelsea. We just need someone to score. And it's two teams that didn't have a good first game. West Ham, on one hand, lost their game away from home 3-0 to Sunderland, and Chelsea had a scoreless game at 0-0. But I feel like it's a bounce back game for both teams. First of all, West Ham is now at home, while Chelsea now have a decent matchup. I expect West Ham, when it comes to changes, to change Füllkrug to Wilson, who in my opinion is a much more versatile player. Füllkrug is much more of a player that's really only dangerous inside the box, but Wilson is much quicker. He's a better playmaker in my opinion, so that's going to be better for the West Ham attack. And Palace managed to get 11 shots and 4 shots on target from 28% possession against Chelsea. I expect around similar possession and similar shots from West Ham, so they will get the opportunities. And Chelsea has 72% possession, 19 shots, and 3 shots on target against Palace. In my opinion, they should have scored, but they struggled against Palace last season anyway, so I wasn't super surprised there. But when they played West Ham last season, they didn't struggle to score. They scored 2 goals and 3 goals last season, and West Ham managed to score in one of them. This play had hit in both games. When they faced each other last season. Joao Pedro was an upgrade in attack for Chelsea, in my opinion, and I expect both teams to have plenty of opportunities. More than likely Chelsea, but I can see West Ham scoring, so I like higher than 0.5 first half goals in the West Ham and Chelsea game. And then the second play for this slip is in the English Championship, and it's higher than 0.5 Bristol City goals going up against Derby County. I was thinking of taking Bristol City to win or draw for them not to lose. But if that did happen, I expect them to score at least 1. I don't expect it to be a 0-0 game, so I'd rather take Bristol to score. Derby have conceded in all 3 games so far, 2 games in the league and 1 in the cup. And in those 3 games, they have conceded 9 total goals, so they've already averaged 3 goals conceded per game, while Bristol have been able to score in 2 out of 3 games. And they've scored 6 goals total in those 3 games from 8 shots on target. So they've been a pretty clinical team, so they don't need many opportunities, but they will get those opportunities here again against a Derby County side who has league goals this season. They haven't held possession so far, only holding 32% and 48% in the first 2 league games. They fouled 14 times in each of those games, and 3 of those goals that they conceded were from set pieces. They haven't making mistakes, and Bristol City will get those opportunities. They have a good matchup here, so I like Bristol City to score at least 1 goal going up against Derby County. This is a slip that I have for day 1 of the ladder challenge for -134. Thank you everybody for watching. Quickly going over last video's picks. Like I mentioned, I'm wearing the robe. We swept the player props. We had Luis Suarez higher than 2.5 shots, who got bumped up to 3 shortly after the video. And he still went over even after the bump. We had the 2 other plays, so Mikovic over 3 saves, and Alexis Vega higher than 2.5 shots assisted. Both hit, so we swept the player props 3-0. Alexis Vega was a player that I was already looking at and wanted to add, but I wasn't sure if he was going to start because he had rested the last 2 games, and I wasn't sure if they're going to rest him again for some reason. But once I saw he was in the lineup, I added that line, and it hit for us, so we did great there. But when it came to the ladder challenge and money line, unfortunately, it didn't hit. Inter Miami came through. They won their game, but Seattle didn't even manage to score 1 goal. They got a red card. They controlled possession. They dominated with like over 70% possession, had so many shots, they just couldn't put away the opportunity. So we were just unlucky for them not to score. But we swept the player props, and hopefully we can carry on the momentum going into this video. Like I mentioned, halftime wise, we had Mabry and Ionescu for the WNBA video. I'm not sure how those are going to play out yet. I'm not sure. I know Mabry's looking good. Ionescu's not looking so good. But we'll see how that goes. I'll mention it in my next video how those go. But we did great in the last soccer video. Hopefully we can do the same thing again. And as always, if I do have any added plays, there will be in the pinned comment in this video. So if you do want more plays, just keep an eye out for those. Other than that, I hope everybody has a good night, a good day, and we can cash out tomorrow.